Hello everyone, welcome to Psych Club. Hey, Miss me. How are you? Hey, good to see you. So, welcome to Psych Club. It's been a few days since we've done a live. So I wanted to say hello to everyone. Who's in the house? Who's here? We've got some thumbs up. Where are you from? Say hi. Hey Miss May, how are you? Good, people are coming in. I wanted to say hello, share a few numbers, and announce a few things. Hey again, how are you everyone? You all good? It's good to see everyone. I'm just going to adjust this slightly. Is that better? I think that might be better. Yeah, I think so. Awesome. There you go. Get the shelves. There you go. Who's here? Lindsay. Hey Lindsay. Hey Ruth. Terry. Hey, it's great to see everyone again. It's great to see everyone. So while we're waiting for people to come in, I wanted to say hello. Obviously it's Tom Sidney Bushnell, aka Numbers, here at Psych Club, so welcome to the Psych Club Live. Also remember my other channel, the Tom Numbers Show. You'll be able to find that, just type in the Tom Numbers Show, you'll find it, or a link below. Pennsylvania here, West Yorkshire, awesome. So I wanted to give a little bit of an update and a briefing on an episode that we've got coming live. Well, not live, we've recorded it, but we're going to be launching it in, what time is it now? In 28 minutes. So it's going to be an episode with Bev, the ufologist, Bev Trout, and with Matt Letitia, the wonderful football player that I've done episodes with before. And we'll have Rachel, of course, from Right Side Blonde. And it's going to be a really fascinating interview, a really fascinating episode, and I'd encourage everyone to watch it. So I wanted to kind of alert people to it here. You'll see it's in the premiere launch section of Psych Club, so you can go there and give it a thumbs up, and I will be in the chat, so that will be the fun thing to do. I'll be able to talk to you all in the chat, and it's just a great episode, really revealing. A lot of comms, a lot of double confirmations from things like the newspapers that were confirming and encouraging us to do the episode. Even today there's been some things in the newspapers that have confirmed part of the message towards the end that you'll see. So I'll talk about that in the next day or two. But I've got pictures of the papers I can show you that I'm talking about. So 106 is red pilling. Yeah. Hey Tom, what's the exciting news? Hey Mark. So the exciting news is this show that we've got with Matt Letitia and Bev, the ufologist. And just to give you a bit of a background, I talk about this in the episode, but for those of you that are tuned into the live, so you remember our first episode with Bev Trout, with myself and Rachel. So we introduced her, and she's a ufologist with a lot of knowledge about aliens and spaceships and different types of aliens and races, etc. And it's just really fascinating, very open subject, and people have talked about it before. You know, there's plenty of stuff out there online on YouTube about it all, but we had the privilege to have Bev. But the interesting thing is, so it was the day I went down to Buckingham Palace, so you'll see the video that I did on that same day. But the day before is when we filmed the episode with Bev, and we launched it the next day. And I looked at the newspapers, and on the front of the newspaper was a comm from an episode I've done with MJ, with Michael Jaco and Tara by Janine a few weeks prior, and it said, "Let them eat value brand cake." And I mentioned Russell Brand as well, how he's letting people know what's going on. So if you're watching, Russell, I'm giving you a thumbs up. Come on the show. You said you would, so well, we talked about it, so let's see. But then in the bottom corner there was a bit about Matt Letitia talking about UFOs, and it's very similar. If you go to the episode in the Tom Numbers Show, the one I did with Matt a few months ago, I asked him the question about UFOs, and I share with him the experience I had in Arizona, where I saw the lights switch on and off a couple of times. And he talked about how he saw a card reader, tarot reader in Scottsdale, Arizona, where I had my kind of UFO experience. First one that I'm aware of. And it was in the same area, Scottsdale, which was interesting. And the article talks, you turn to the next page, on page 3, you'll see Matt talking about a similar kind of question he was asked on another podcast. But I saw that as the comms that we'd done the episode with Bev just the day before. We were launching it later that evening, of the day that I saw the newspaper. And actually at the bottom of the newspaper, you'll see it says Bev just below the article on Matt Letitia. So I've shown this in the episode, which you'll see, so you'll get to see the visuals when this episode goes up, which it will go up in 24 minutes. So it's launching at 8 p.m. here in the UK. So that's what the big news is. There you go, Jeff. Yeah, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. But it's a real fascinating episode, and it ties in a lot of things. And even yesterday in the Star newspaper, they had the whole thing on the title of it. It just said, UFOs are real. I was like, that's interesting. UFOs are real. So these are the numbers I got on that. So here we go, UFOs. So UFO, if I remember right, it comes to 42. So yeah, UFO, UFOs, because they had an S, 61, miracle. Don Jr., casino. The word you. Hey, who's that? Jeffrey, thank you, buddy. I appreciate the super sticker. Thank you, man. Thank you. And thank you comes to 121. And U is 61, which is also UFOs. YOU comes to UFOs. Bedfordshire, hey Andrea. So UFOs R is 24, comes to 85, comes to awakening, comes to storm, comes to matrix, comes to reptile, interesting enough. And Bev talks a lot about how there are good reptiles as well. Seems like most of them are. So maybe we've got a bit of all of that in us, I don't know, we'll see. And then real is 36, which comes to 121, which comes to thank you. So thank you for that super chat there, Jeff, thank you. 121. So UFOs are real. But then the interesting thing about it is the word real was in red, which is code, which is JFK, which is A plus Z, AZ, as in Arizona, or code. So you add the 27, that takes you to 148. 148 comes to Donald J. Trump. It comes to simple gematria. It comes to time traveler. It comes to Emmett Brown from Back to the Future. So you have all these things conjuncting and kind of blending into each other. But then the other part of the writing was in white, so I thought this was interesting. So 65 is white, comes to 213. 213 comes to a few things. It comes to Kid by the Side of the Road, so Juan's book, Kid by the Side of the Road. 213 also comes to Donald John Trump, JR. So Donald John Trump is 185. JR is 28, which is also bank. So you could say Donald John Trump Bank, 213. You could say global financial reset, 185, and then the bank. Also, thinking about it, the City of London Bank is 213, because the City of London is also 185. Donald John Trump. Well, Trade Center is 185 as well. But add the JR, add the bank, the 28 to it, or man, that comes to, or even is, yeah, Donald John Trump is 213, comes to Kid by the Side of the Road, which comes to aliens are real, plus red, plus white. So there you go, people. But yeah, this episode is really fascinating. So Matt will ask some real kind of thought-provoking questions, and it's just a real open, fun discussion. And you'll notice again that there's beams of light appearing in the episode with Bev. You'll see quite often she'll say something important, and a beam of light will go behind her. Some of I get the kind of flickers I get on my end. There's some with Rachel as well, and Matt says some key phrases, and things happen. Hey Len, so then they wouldn't really be UFOs, would they? They are IFOs, identifying objects. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, I guess so. But yeah, I guess so. But if they're unidentified, because we still don't know what they are. That's the point. So I hear you. I get that. Thanks for your super chat and question. But yeah, good point. IFOs. It's an interesting thing. Maybe we can bring that into the vocabulary as well. But usually because you don't know what they are, because I've seen the flashing lights on and off, but I don't know what they are other than it's a light flashing on and off. But I take your point. So that's a good point, Lynn. But IFOs, what would that come to? IFOs comes to 49 green. Yes, IFO, which comes to 30, which is AU plus AG, which is day. Interesting, yeah. But anyway, that's some of the things that have come up in the show, but you'll see it. So we've been wanting to put it out. We're putting it out today, and it's just a really beautiful episode. Very revealing, very kind of free flowing. Bev gives some cases of experiences she's had. She's got a wealth of knowledge, and there's a lot more she can share with us. So it's a real privilege to have her on the show. And it's always a privilege to have Matt on the show, and of course with Rachel. And it's just a real great, fun episode. And you'll see right at the end, there's some numbers I work out which are quite humorous, but nevertheless, maybe there's some truth to them. We'll see. But it's amazing how the numbers line up. And you'll notice the reference. So when you watch the whole video, just pay attention to the reference for maths, M-A-T-H-S, maths. So I know in the UK, in the US they say math, but here in the UK we just call it maths, so for mathematics. And Matt makes reference to the word maths, you'll see. And also today in the newspaper they made reference to maths on the front of the newspaper, of the Star newspaper. So there's some interesting things with that which I'll go through in the next coming days, but I wanted to point those things out to you because you're the ones that are here in the chat and showing up. So love to hear your experience. Yep, they don't. That's it. It's all made of numbers. Epsom, Surrey. Ah, nice. Epsom, yeah. The race course, Epsom, I think. Yeah, Epsom races. Ascot's coming soon. I know Barry Hearn will be going to Ascot in June. And a lot of others will be. Highway 88 in Arizona. 88. We know what 88 is. 88 equals Trump. 88 equals purple. 88 MPH, which you'll see not from the photo, well, not the t-shirt I've got today, but other times I wear it. We got 222. So 88 miles per hour is 120. Is 125, which is John Kennedy time travel. But we had 222 just a moment ago, and something I was talking to with Rachel, just a thought that came in. The question of whether you could have a Pleiadian and a reptile hybrid, and Bev makes the point that all these different races, and as with humans, you get good and bad ones, which makes sense. Mr. Wiltshire, hey Rena. Monkeypox. So do you know what monkeypox comes to? I did that today. Monkeypox comes to 138. 138 comes to Bluebird Motel. I've done the piece on that in Back to the Future. 138 comes to revaluation. 138 comes to Elon Musk Bank. 138 comes to I Am Twitter. Elon's purchased Twitter, or is in the process of trying to do so. He's purchased some of it. 138 also comes to Donald Trump. Comes to gold resets. So, or the gold reset 138. So monkeypox, I think, is a code as well. They're putting codes out. So we'll see what happens with that. But remember, there you go. Okay, cool. But yeah, there's just a lot of, it's a fun episode. It's a really fun episode. And we've got some others as well coming up. So, I've got one, I've been holding on to this, but we're going to reveal it in the next couple of days. I've got one with Danny Rampling, the DJ, the superstar DJ, so that's coming out. And I've also got one with Peter Hitchens. So Peter Hitchens, people know Peter, a great intellectual. And it's an interesting conversation with Peter, yeah. He's obviously got his views on things, but he he came up with some interesting solutions to some of the things that we might be facing with in terms of solutions that would make the world better. Prior to the the period of 2020 and other things, but he does talk some common sense on some of these solutions he's come up with. So I was happy to kind of extract those from his mind, and we talked about God and a few other things, and it's an interesting episode. But the one with Danny Rampling, Danny, if you're listening, buddy, it was a pleasure to share the airwaves with you, and we'll do it again soon. But people that don't know, Danny Rampling was the first superstar DJ. So he won the DJ award from DJ Magazine in 1991, and he's a big pillar in the community of dance music and DJing. And but he was given that award of the first superstar DJ. So he's got a great heart and a good guy. And can you see if certain gematria numbers refer to dark or light or dark to light? Yeah. Or 125 time travel. John Kennedy comes to the Q post dark to light 125. Comes to 8th Avenue where the Tesla Hotel is in New York. But yeah, Danny Rampling episode will be a lot of fun. So both of those will come out in the next few days. So look out for those. You're just down the road, okay. Worldwide. Not sure. What's the question there, Lynn? I missed the previous post. So yeah, so a lot of fun things coming up. So I wanted to give you guys and girls, as you're here in the chat, give you heads up and give you the opportunity to know about those things coming up first, and those that are watching it after will see that as well. I don't know, I think the thing is with Elon, I think he's doing good right now. That's what I would say. I guess we just watch, there's a lot of characters, there's a lot of good actors in the film, and it's a tricky business finding out what's actually going on or trying to see it, but yeah. But it's I did the Twitter post, the Twitter Bluebird Motel with the Twitter symbol is in the Back to the Future, and it's just before Marty gets to 88 miles per hour and time travels back to 1985. So there's a lot of comms on it. How did you get into the USA? You could. You just go. So who else has got questions? 278. Yeah, I use my brain. Thanks, Claire. Do you feel? Hey, Claire. You too. You too. That's it. You've got to use your brain, people. You've got to use your brain. 88 and 888. 888 is amazing. So if you do simple gematria in Hebrew gematria, meaning 148, but you times it by this 6 because that's what the Hebrew version is. You just times everything by 6, takes to 888. 888 are super powerful numbers. They're very powerful from a personal point of view for myself, but 888 is just magical, really super positive, powerful numbers. As with a lot of them, Rachel got a lot of 222s today and yesterday, and some 999s and some 111s. When does the Charlie? Use your big beautiful brains, people. Yeah, keep using your brains. That's it. We just got to use our brains, and a lot of it is intuition as well. So I would say even beyond that is use your heart. Connected. If your heart and your mind are connected, if you have the chance to do your personal numbers, I couldn't read the rest of that. Maybe if you want to retype it. A lot of this is, I'm understanding that as we go from 3 to 5D consciousness, we're going into realms of new possibilities that maybe we'd forgotten about. We'd forgotten about it. We were here on the earth, and it was a 3D realm. Russell Brand, that's who I was talking about. Russell Brand actually comes to 145, comes to numerology. His podcast, Under the Skin, comes to 148, which comes to simple gematria. 148 also is an important number for one of the guests that I just mentioned in regards to we've got Peter Hitchens and Danny Rampling coming up. So 148 is an important one you'll see in that show, or one of those shows. What do you think about Good Day All? Yeah. Where were we before that? Yeah, 888. So 888. Whenever you see those kind of triple numbers, they're angel numbers are pointing out. Rachel was saying the 222 is a reference, as a reassurance that you're on the right path, and it brings a lot of goodness with it. So 222 comes to Winter White House. 222 comes to 1,000 Years of Peace. 222 comes to Wyndham, New York. It comes to some people's names that I know. 222 comes to Pleiadian reptile hybrid, which is an interesting one, as we're just kind of delving into this new kind of part of the story with aliens and hybrids and other species and good people, good species. And we might, it'd be interesting when we understand all of what it is. Okay, 111. Yeah, a lot of people get the double 11. 11 times 11 is 121. 121 is Second Coming. 121 is Golden Jubilee. Yeah, you see those a lot. 222 is a really powerful one. Thank you from WSN. Yeah, the numbers are amazing when you start to see them and you get them personally. That's the thing. So when I spoke at the event just a couple of weeks ago, I was saying to the people that the reason I mention my personal numbers is, one, helps me remember them, but it becomes meaningful. So when you know your own personal numbers, that's when it really becomes exciting, and then you're able to build more, to get more colours in your palette to paint the picture, or more notes, more musical notes, more keys on the keyboard. Once you know them, then they're there, they're yours, and you can play with them and see them and enjoy them and recognise them, and then you can interconnect and interrelate to the bigger global picture. But as President Trump says, America first, you can use that phrase that for you first, you first, which is fine, you have to, everyone's sovereign. Sovereign is 114, it's frequency, it's trump card, it's history. Change your frequency, change your history, change the future. I think probably sound and vibration, frequency have got a massive thing to do with time travel. Tesla said that, then he said frequency, vibration and energy. And he talked about the 3, 6 and 9 numbers. So yeah, if you can work out your own numbers, and you'll see below, we've got the Trumpology product, you'll see the link there. It says, if you want to know your own personal numbers, do them with Tom. That's what it's about. And I'd encourage you to look at those. But when you work them out yourself, and anyone can do it, that's the thing. What I'm teaching is available for everybody. And it does take a bit of discipline as with anything, It took me probably 10 days to maybe 3 weeks to be able to simultaneously just say, okay, P is 16, Q is 17, Y is 25, T is 20, just to be able to say it instantly. Whereas in the early days, I knew the numbers were coming through, I knew what they were, I'd realised what they were and how important, but I still had to count on my finger and add things up. And so if you can get to that point where you can fluidly do it, I would say that will really accelerate and build your numbers career way quicker. That's the first thing I would suggest. If you can do that, you'll be at such an advantage over everything, because you'll be walking around and you'll know what they are. You'll be able to do it. And then if you're good at maths, you can do it in your head. And I'm not the greatest at maths, but I know how to connect the dots on things. I see and remember a lot of stuff. But I did in the early days start to feel the cranking in my mind, adding things up. I'm watching a film in the cinema, I know what it means, and then I'm adding the values up, and I do all that at the same time I was watching the film. And now I use the calculator and it's quicker, but I always double check as well. Always double check your work, because it's easy to punch something in. But if you can know that A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, you can do it instantly for any letter in the alphabet. You'll be at such an advantage to be able to add up the value of words, names, places and phrases, and it will really accelerate your growth. So I'd encourage you to do that if you can. It's worth the effort, everyone. Where are we at? 325 in the chat. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to log off now. I'm going to say thank you. I love you and leave you. Yeah, words do have meanings. Exactly right, Teresa. I'll love you and leave you for a few moments, but I will be back in the chat for the Matt Letizia, Bev Trout, Rachel Right Side Blonde, and Tom Sydney Bushnell, aka Numbers Psych Club episode, which is going to launch in 5 minutes. So God bless everyone. I'll see you in the chat, and share. Do remember to like, share, and subscribe. Check out the Tom Numbers show. But I'll see you. The most important thing to do is, if you haven't subscribed already, do subscribe to Psych Club, subscribe to the Tom Numbers show, and give it a thumbs up here, and a like, and a thumbs up, and a share for the episode with Matt Letizia and Bev Trout, which is starting in 4 minutes now. God bless everyone. Take care. Bye.